You're live.
Okay, good morning, everybody. This is the August 24th, 2023 Coastal Permit Administrator hearing. The Mendocino County Coastal Permit Administrator meetings will be conducted at 860 North Bush Street, Ukiah, California, and virtual attendance will be available via Zoom. Meetings are live streamed and available for viewing on the Mendocino County YouTube page. All right, I will go ahead and call the meeting to order at 10 a.m. May I please get a determination of noticing?
A legal notice has been determined on each matter on the agenda.
Thank you. So that brings us to item 3A, which is CDP 2020-0024. This is a continued item from April 27, 2023. The owner applicant is Paul and Janice Booth. Agent is Wind Coastal Planning and Biology. The request is a standard coastal development permit to develop a vacant parcel by constructing a single-family residence, including attached decking, patios, and garage. The request includes the installation of a mitigation fencing, primary septic system, and future vested opportunity to install a replacement septic system. Associated development includes establishment of a propane tank, a gravel driveway, trenching for underground utilities, and connection to community water district. The project has been determined that a mitigated negative declaration was prepared, and the project is located within the coastal zone 0.5 plus minus miles south of the town of Albion Center, within the Pacific Reef subdivision on the northeast side of Pacific Reefs Road. 0.5 plus minus miles west of its intersection with State Route 1, located at 34350 Pacific Reefs Road in Albion, APN 123-340-13. Staff, please get a report.
Good morning, CPA Gonzalez. Thank you. Jesse Waldman, planner for Mendocino County. And I'm prepared to present multiple items. However, yesterday afternoon, our office received a request to withdraw the project from Mendocino County, and this was a request made through the agent Wind Coastal Planning for the booths. And this is to allow them to prepare a design revision and update all of their studies, and they will come back to Planning and Building Services with Mendocino County at a later date. So you will see multiple memorandums that have been prepared over the last few months, where memorandum number 9 is the official withdrawal request from the landowners. I'm available for any questions, and I do believe that the agent is here on this project.
Thank you very much. All right, so can we get the applicant's agent?
Hi, this is Megan Durbin, Senior Planner with Wind Coastal Planning and Biology, agent for the applicant. And just, here to confirm that the applicant, on behalf of the applicant, did indeed withdraw the application. As you well know, the various things that we've been through and the complications over the last couple of years, we came to the point of where it would be better to just withdraw this application and start fresh. We hope to bring a new application to the county, within the next 6 to 12 months.
Thank you very much. Duly noted, and the Coastal Permit Administrator will accept the withdrawn application. All right, thank you very much. Is there anybody else from the applicant side that wishes to speak on this matter? I see Amy Wynn is on the line. Amy, did you have anything you want to add?
Thank you. This is Amy Wynn from Wind Coastal Planning and Biology. I have nothing to add other than to thank Jesse and you, Mr. Gonzalez, for your patience in this process as the property owner and neighbors try to work through their design plans. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So as I've noted, the CPA will accept the withdrawn application. Okay, so no action to be taken. So that moves us to the next item, which is case 3B, CDP 2022-0018. The applicant is Ryan and Aaron McNabb. The request is a standard coastal development permit to legalize after-the-fact demolition of an existing 1,366 square foot residence and permit construction of a new residence in the same location. A mitigated negative declaration has been prepared. The property is located within the coastal zone, 2.5 miles east of Albion on the south side of Albion Ridge Road, 1.32 plus minus miles east of its intersection with State Route 1, located at 32,601 Albion Ridge Road in Albion. Assessor's parcel numbers 123-210-07 and 123-210-18. Please get a staff report.
Yes, thank you. This is Liam Crowley, planning staff. So I'll just give a little bit of background about this project. Originally, the existing house on this site was demolished without a permit, and a stop work, or it was partially demolished without a permit, and a stop work order was issued. So the applicant subsequently applied for a coastal development permit to permit the after-the-fact demolition as well as the construction of a new residence and associated development. As far as general plan and zoning consistency goes, the site is within the rural residential zoning district, which allows for single-family residential use as the principal permitted use. An application was submitted to CAL FIRE, who provided their conditions, and those conditions have been adopted as, or have been recommended as conditions of approval with this application. An archaeological survey was conducted, no resources were found, and that survey was accepted by the Archaeological Commission with the inclusion of the discovery clause, which is also recommended as a condition of approval here. And the existing well was determined to have adequate water supply to support the new single-family residence. Now, the key issue with this project has to do with biological resources. A biological survey was conducted for the property, and it was found that a wetland ESHA covered the entirety of the parcel, and in addition to that, there were some rare plant ESHAs that were found. Residential use is not a permitted use in wetlands per the local coastal program, and as such, a takings analysis was conducted to determine if denial of the project would constitute a taking, and if not, what scale of development could be allowed. And so this takings analysis analyzed surrounding development on the site, the applicant's investment-backed expectations for demolishing and reconstructing the single-family residence, the degree to which the wetland regulations interfere with the proposed development, and whether or not denial of the project would deprive the owner of the economically viable use of their land. And so the conclusions of the takings analysis was that the proposed project would be allowable based on the scale of development surrounding the site and the other factors that I mentioned. And that's all detailed within the staff report. As far as the scale and the site of the project, the proposal is to construct the house in the previously demolished area. And this was determined to be the least environmentally damaging alternative for the project. Any other site for the new residence would have some sort of impact on the wetland vegetation. And conditions of approval are recommended to maximize consistency with the local coastal program. So I did want to go over briefly the memorandum that was prepared for this project. So in order to develop the new single-family residence, the Environmental Health Division determined that the existing septic system wasn't adequate and that a new one had to be designed. And because of that, the applicant submitted an application to Environmental Health for the new septic design, and that was cleared by them. However, the design for the septic system was not subsequently included in the project description for the project and was not analyzed with regards to ESHA and takings analysis. So staff prepared the memo to provide some clarifications. I'll just briefly go over the proposed kind of changes that would occur. So First one would be on page CPA 1 of the staff report. The project description would be updated, so the second to last paragraph where it says the project would use an existing well and septic system would be struck, and a new sentence would be added that says a new septic system would be installed per septic permit SP 24077. Now, the design for the septic system was analyzed with regard to the takings analysis and environmentally sensitive habitat areas. And it was determined that some changes to the findings and conditions of approval would be made. Those are noted in the memo. You'll see that some edits have been made to finding number 7, and finding number 8, and then finding number 10 has been added as well. Now, in terms of conditions of approval, condition number 10 would be amended to allow leach field construction to occur within the location depicted on the site plan for the septic permit, which is within the buffers of the rare plant eschers that were identified. And an additional condition of approval would be added, condition number 16, which would basically require that a restoration of wetland vegetation occur if that wetland vegetation doesn't regenerate after development of the septic system. So other than that, it was determined, since the septic system is inherently tied to the single-family residential development and is required in order to actually develop the residence, both by EH and by the county's LCP, that in order to avoid a taking, that the septic system should be approved. And so to conclude, staff is recommending that the coastal permit administrator adopt a mitigated negative declaration and approve CDP 2022-0018 based on the amended facts and findings in the record, including the staff report and the memorandum that I just mentioned, subject to the amended conditions of approval within the staff report and this memorandum and the memorandum that I mentioned. So that's all I have. I'm available for questions.
So basically what would really change here is you're going from an existing septic system to really replacing that system. So what I would do is in your memo is I would, instead of saying a new septic system, I would say a new replacement septic system, because you're basically swapping one for the other. That's what you're doing.
Better, yeah.
Because when you say new, it almost sounds like there
wasn't
isn't
before.
anything there.
Yeah.
And rather than going through a revamp or recirculation of the project, we'll just basically say that you're replacing what's there.
Right.
And
Yeah.
this way you're already covered under the environmental review.
Right, and as far as the mitigated negative declaration goes, there are no new impacts that were identified. These are all impacts that were previously identified in the mitigated negative declaration.
I'm assuming that the septic system is going to go in the same place that the current one is there now. You're basically going to pull out the tank, replace the tank, and replace the leach lines.
Yes,
Okay.
but it's the engineered one through Munsell Engineering and all that sort of stuff to mitigate the wetlands.
Because of the wetlands,
Mhm.
my concern is that we don't want to infringe upon undeveloped areas.
No.
Okay, so that clarifies that. All right, so thank you. With that, I'm assuming you're the applicant.
I am, I'm Erin McNabb.
Thank you very
Mhm.
much for identifying yourself. Is
Yeah.
there anything you would like to add?
No, Liam's done a wonderful job and walked us through this process, this scary process, what I would identify as a scary process. But no, it's been great, a great learning curve.
Okay, great. And did you have anything you want to say?
This is my mom, she's here for moral support.
Moral support. All right. So with that, do we have anybody online that wishes to speak on this matter? I'm
We have-
opening up to the public now.
No members of the public on Zoom for this item.
No members of the public. All right, so what I'll do is I'll bring it back to the CPA, and I will go ahead and move to approve the project, subject to the evidence provided here, which is contained in the staff report, the mitigated negative declaration, including the memorandum of August 24th, 2023, that modifies the findings and conditions of approval, specifically condition number 10 and adding condition number 16. All right. Wasn't so bad, was it?
That was beautiful. No.
All right.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet. Okay, so now we go matters from staff. Do we have any matters from staff? Nothing? All right, matters from the public. Coastal Permit Administrator welcomes participation in meetings. This item is limited to matters under the jurisdiction of the Coastal Permit Administrator which are not on the posted agenda and items which have not already been considered by the Coastal Permit Administrator. So no action would be taken. I see nobody's online, so I'll bring that back to the CPA, and we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting at 10:15 a.m. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank